The dying light of the Iowa afternoon painted the red barn in hues of rust and shadow, its weathered planks vibrating with the force of a scream that tore through the stillness. A young woman in a blue shirt and brown overalls stood motionless, her hazel eyes burning with a quiet fire, as a hulking figure in a red plaid shirt loomed over her, his fist raised in a threat that thundered with the words, "One more touch, hospital bed." Behind him, three others, mirrors in flannel and jeans, formed a menacing semicircle, their smirks cutting like knives through the thick air. The green tractor stood sentinel in the background, its silent bulk a witness to the brewing storm. Then, in a heartbeat, the girl moved. A flash of motion, her hand snapping up to seize his wrist, twisting it with a precision that silenced the farmyard. Gasps rippled through the dust, choked air as the quiet farm girl unveiled a strength no one could have anticipated. To her name was Ellie Harper, old whose life had been etched into the rugged fields of her family's modest Iowa farm. To the townsfolk, she was a wraith, soft-spoken, unassuming, her blonde ponytail swaying gently as she hauled feed sacks or mended fences under the relentless summer sun. Since her father's death 2 years prior, the Harper farm had teetered on the brink of collapse, its debts a suffocating burden on Ellie and her mother, Margaret. The neighboring boys, led by Jace Caldwell, saw her solitude as an invitation to torment. Jace, with his broad shoulders, chiseled jaw, and a laugh that boomed across the fields, ruled the local farmers with an iron fist, his taunts growing bolder with each harvest. That afternoon, as Ellie worked alone near the barn, stacking hay bales against the encroaching dusk, Jace and his crew descended, their jeers about her father's failed legacy turning vicious. When Jace grabbed her arm, his laughter ringing off the barn walls, Ellie's world tilted. She turned, her grip like forged steel, and the fight ignited. To no one knew her secret. To the community, Ellie was a farmer's daughter, her days defined by the creak of wagon wheels and the lowing of cattle, her nights by the soft hum of crickets under a starlit sky. But beneath her calloused hands and sun-scorched skin lay a past she had buried deep since returning from the military 2 years ago. At 19, driven by a desperate need to escape the farm's crushing weight and honor her father's service in the National Guard, she had enlisted in the Army. There, amid the grit and discipline of basic training, she discovered a talent for hand-to-hand combat, rising through the ranks to become a champion in the military's underground fighting circuit. A clandestine world of sweat and steel she kept hidden to shield her mother from scandal. Discharged after a shoulder injury sustained during a training exercise, she had returned home, vowing to leave that life behind. Yet as Jace's wrist bent under her hold, those skills roared back, her muscles remembering every punch, every block, every moment of survival her mind had tried to suppress. The confrontation exploded as Jace's friends surged forward, their boots churning the dry earth into a cloud of dust under the golden hour light. Ellie moved with a dancer's grace, sidestepping a clumsy punch from one of the boys and using Jace's own momentum to flip him onto the ground, his breath escaping in a sharp grunt that echoed off the barn. The others hesitated, their bravado faltering as they faced a girl who fought with the precision of a trained soldier. Inside, Ellie's mind churned with doubt. Could she hold them off without crossing into violence she couldn't undo? Her military training had drilled discipline into her bones, but the fear of losing her family's land to these bullies stoked a rage she struggled to leash. The barn's shadow stretched long and jagged across the yard, a silent judge as she stood over Jace, her chest heaving, her eyes scanning for their next move. The tractor's engine ticked in the cooling air, a reminder of the life she was fighting to protect. A word of the fight spread like wildfire through the tight-knit town, transforming Ellie from a forgotten figure into a whispered legend. At the local diner, farmers muttered over coffee, their eyes darting toward the Harper farm with newfound curiosity. Jace, nursing a bruised wrist and a shattered ego, rallied his crew for revenge, their threats growing darker with each passing day. Whispers of sabotage, of burning the barn, of driving the Harpers off their land forever. Ellie's mother, Margaret, sensed the danger in her daughter's silence, her pleas for peace falling on ears deafened by determination. Unaware of Ellie's military past, Margaret saw only a daughter burdened by grief, not a warrior forged in battle. Yet Ellie knew retreat wasn't an option. The farm was her father's dream, her mother's refuge, and she'd defend it with her life. At night she trained in secret behind the barn, her fists pounding a makeshift puncheon from an old grain sack, her mind replaying combat drills under the moon's pale gaze. Each strike was a release, a defiance against the underestimation that had shadowed her since childhood. But the weight of her secret gnawed at her. Would its revelation unravel the fragile life she'd rebuilt? The tension crescendoed a week later at the town's livestock auction, a public stage where the community gathered to trade cattle and gossip. The air buzzed with the lowing of steers and the hum of voices. The auctioneers gave a rhythmic pulse against the wooden stand. Surrounded by cattle pens and the scent of straw, Jace and his gang ambushed Ellie near the edge of the crowd, their intent clear in their clenched fists and narrowed eyes. The onlookers murmured, some stepping back in fear, others egging the fight on with hushed bets. Ellie's heart pounded, her military instincts kicking in as she assessed the terrain. Crates to her left, a fence to her right, the crowd a potential shield or trap. Then, a voice sliced through the chaos like a blade. Sergeant Daniels, her old commanding officer, emerged from the throng, his weathered face set in a stern line. His gaze locked with hers, and the revelation struck like lightning. Ellie wasn't just a farm girl, she was a decorated soldier, her combat skills honed in the deserts of the Middle East, now standing to protect her home. The fight that followed was a ballad of precision and power, each move a testament to Ellie's training. With Daniel's subtle nod of approval, she disarmed the attackers, her hands a blur as she redirected a punch into a stumble, flipped another boy over her shoulder, and pinned Jace against a pen with a hold that left him gasping. The crowd fell silent, all replacing their murmurs as Jace, realizing the depth of her strength, faltered, his pride crumbling like dry earth. As the dust settled, Daniel stepped forward, his voice low but firm. He revealed he'd tracked her after hearing rumors of her return, having served with her father years ago. He offered her a chance to rejoin the military with honors, a path back to the life she'd left behind. Ellie hesitated, her eyes drifting to the farm where her mother waited, her heart torn between duty and the roots she'd fought to preserve. In that moment, she chose a third path, using her skills to train local youth in self-defense, turning her past into a legacy of empowerment. The town, once divided by suspicion, rallied around her, the Red Barn now a beacon of resilience against the horizon. The other days that followed brought a transformation. Ellie organized training sessions in the barn's open space, her voice steady as she taught teenagers the basics of stance and strike, her own story a quiet inspiration. Margaret, at first hesitant, joined in, her pride in her daughter outweighing her fear. The community pitched in, repairing the farm's fences, delivering feed, their respect a silent apology for past indifference. Jace, humbled, approached Ellie one evening, his head bowed, offering a truce that she accepted with a nod. The tractor, once a symbol of labor, now hummed with the promise of renewal as the Harper farm stood stronger than ever. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm amber glow over the fields, Ellie stood tall beside her mother, the community's voices a soft chorus in the distance. The Red Barn, scarred but unbowed, framed their silhouette, a testament to the battles fought and won. Her journey from underestimated farm girl to champion had reshaped her world, proving that true strength emerges from the depths of doubt and despair. Hey, incredible viewers! Did Ellie's tale of courage and redemption leave you speechless? What would you have done facing bullies like Jace?
Share your thoughts in the comments. We're dying to hear!
If you love this cinematic journey, smash that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more epic stories of justice and heroism. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an adventure. Your support keeps these tales alive.